Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really wild situation. This highly disruptive yet completely unconfirmed Google search volatility that absolutely sent the community into a panic in August 2026. Look, if you manage a website, you already know that dropping rankings can cause instant anxiety. It's the worst feeling, right? But reacting without all the facts can actually do a whole lot more harm than good. So today, we are taking a structured, data-driven look at exactly what went down during those first few chaotic days of August. We'll look at why the official channels are just completely silent, and most importantly, what you should actually be doing about it right now.
We know these situations are super stressful, so here is our exact roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the August search mystery, then Google's official silence, tremors or tech glitches, your diagnostic action plan, and finally, navigating unconfirmed volatility. Let's get into it.
All right, part 1, the August search mystery. We're looking at community panic versus official data here.
So right around August 1st through the 3rd of 2026, massive chatter just suddenly erupted across all the SEO and webmaster forums. People were seeing severe ranking instability. It was initially flagged by Search Engine Roundtable's Barry Schwartz, who, basically acts as an early warning system for the whole industry. From there, third-party rank trackers and community discussions absolutely lit up. Investigators started combing through close to 90 separate posts and comments across major hubs, places like Reddit and Webmaster World, and everybody was just desperately trying to find a common thread for why their traffic was bouncing all over the place.
But here's the thing. Unlike a typical core update, the data here is incredibly messy. Usually a clean pattern emerges, right? Like you'll see informational content is down, but product pages are stable. But with this August event, it's a total free-for-all. Ask 10 webmasters, you'll get 10 totally different answers. Nobody can agree on when the disruption actually started, whether it hit standard Google Search or Google Discover harder, or even whether their traffic is going up or down. There's just zero clean narrative here.
Which brings us to part 2, Google's official silence, the missing official report.
Zero. Literally zero. That is the exact number of confirmed ranking, indexing, crawling, or serving incidents logged on Google's search status dashboard for the first 6 days of August 2026. And remember, this dashboard is the only place Google officially logs these events. When a core or spam update happens, it almost always shows up there within a day, complete with a rollout window. But for this massive August disruption, absolute zero.
And this jarring contrast really perfectly captures the situation we're in. On one side, you've got deafening community noise and dozens of forum reports screaming about tanking metrics. But on the other side, absolute silence from the search status dashboard. In fact, the last thing Google actually confirmed on that dashboard was the June 2026 spam update, which ran from June 24th to the 26th. And side note, if you haven't investigated that June update yet, definitely do that, because spam update effects can sometimes have a lagging impact even on totally clean sites. But as for August, officially, there's absolutely nothing happening.
So moving on to part 3, tremors or tech glitches. Let's evaluate the suspects.
To really figure this out, we need to take a step back and look at the 2026 update cadence. So we had a core update from March 27th to April 8th, then another one from May 21st to June 2nd, and then that spam update in late June. Historically, we know Google pushes a core update roughly every 3 to 4 months. Plus, the August-September window is historically one of the absolute most volatile stretches of the entire year. For instance, 2025 had an August spam update. So, looking at this rhythm, you have to wonder, could a new core update be right on schedule for this highly volatile late summer window? This leaves us with 2 very live possibilities for our current mystery, and honestly, they're not mutually exclusive. First, we might be feeling what we call pre-update tremors. Sometimes the ranking systems shift slightly in the background right before Google formally confirms and names a massive rollout. The second possibility is just a perfect storm of tech glitches, a stack of completely unrelated technical issues, like indexing hiccups, ad platform disruptions, or even just analytics glitches, all happening in the exact same week and being falsely lumped together as the August update. Okay, so here is the absolute most crucial takeaway. This is what you should not do. I highly, highly recommend that you do not risk introducing new problems to perfectly fine web pages just because of a few days of noisy, unconfirmed data. Think about it. If this just turns out to be technical hiccups or a false alarm, and you go in and start hastily deleting or rewriting your articles, you'll have made those changes for nothing. You might actually break something that was previously working flawlessly. You absolutely must confirm the cause first.
All right, so what should you do? Part 4, your diagnostic action plan, the investigator's protocol.
Here is your exact diagnostic playbook to follow this week. Step 1.
Separate your Search Console metrics. Don't just stare at the overview graph. Check your positions, impressions, and clicks as 3 totally separate lines. If your clicks dropped, but your impressions and positions are stable, well, that's likely just a click-through rate issue, not a ranking penalty. Step 2. Isolate your Google Discover traffic. Discover has actually run on its own update track since February 2026, so make sure you filter it out before analyzing standard search. Step 3. Cross-check Google Analytics 4 against your raw server logs or Cloudflare. Just make sure it isn't simply a reporting error in your analytics. And finally, Step 4. Rule out site errors first. A massive spike in 404s can easily masquerade as an algorithm hit.
Want a super quick win you can execute right now? Pull out your phone and set a calendar reminder for exactly 1 week from today to recheck the official search status dashboard. Why? Because if Google does retroactively confirm an update, you'll want a clean snapshot of your Search Console data from before it happened. Most people end up scrambling to reconstruct this after the fact, and they end up losing the single most useful data point they had.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Part 5, Navigating Unconfirmed Volatility, Putting the Pieces Together.
Here is exactly how your strategy has to change depending on the scenario you're in. If it's a confirmed core or spam update with actual rollout dates posted, your job is simple. Just wait for the rollout to complete entirely before you start evaluating site-wide signals. Don't touch anything yet. Now, if it's an isolated algorithmic penalty with no update in sight, you need to correlate your specific drop date against past update history. But if you find yourself in the current situation, this messy, unconfirmed volatility with absolutely no logged incident, your marching orders are super simple. Document everything, rule out technical and analytics causes, and absolutely hold off on content rewrites.
So I'll leave you with this final, really important question. It addresses the single biggest mistake site owners make during these mysteries: reacting immediately without screenshotting your current Search Console data. Because if you start changing things right now without a crystal clear picture of your before state, you're going to be totally blind to whether your future fixes actually worked, hurt, or just did nothing at all. So have you documented your specific before state? If not, that is your very first homework assignment today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay disciplined out there.